The period known as the Soviet Thaw marked a significant turning point in the history of the Soviet Union, signaling the end of the harsh Stalinist regime and the beginning of a more open and liberal era. This article explores the factors that contributed to the thaw, the key events that unfolded during this period, and the enduring impact on the Cold War dynamics. 1. The shadow of Stalin. The death of Joseph Stalin in 1953 created a power vacuum and left the Soviet Union in a state of uncertainty. Stalin's leadership had been marked by repression, purges, and a rigid adherence to ideological orthodoxy, shaping the Soviet Union's domestic and foreign policies. 2. Nikita Khrushchev's ascension. Nikita Khrushchev emerged as Stalin's successor, assuming leadership in 1953. Khrushchev, while initially maintaining some Stalinist policies, sought to distance himself from the excesses of the past and initiate a process of de-Stalinization. 3. De-Stalinization policies. Khrushchev's de-Stalinization policies aimed to dismantle the personality cult surrounding Stalin, release political prisoners, and ease restrictions on cultural and intellectual expression. This shift represented a departure from the repressive atmosphere that had defined the Stalinist era. 4. Thaw in the arts and culture. The Soviet thaw brought about a period of cultural and artistic renaissance. Writers, filmmakers, and artists were granted greater freedom to explore themes that were previously deemed unacceptable. The literary works of authors like Alexander Solzhenitsyn and the films of directors such as Andrei Tarkovsky reflected the changing cultural landscape. 5. Political liberalization. Khrushchev's leadership saw an attempt to introduce elements of political liberalization. The 20th Party Congress in 1956 witnessed Khrushchev's secret speech denouncing Stalin's excesses, acknowledging the existence of a personality cult, and condemning the purges. 6. De-escalation of the Cold War. The Soviet thaw had implications for international relations. Khrushchev's leadership saw attempts at de-escalating tensions with the West. The signing of the Austrian State Treaty in 1955 and the Camp David Summit with U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1959 were indicative of a willingness to engage in diplomatic dialogue. 7. Cuban Missile Crisis and fallout. However, Khrushchev's attempts at liberalization faced challenges. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 strained U.S.-Soviet relations, leading to Khrushchev's eventual removal from power in 1964. The Soviet leadership that followed adopted a more conservative stance. 8. Legacy and end of Stalinism. The Soviet thaw left an enduring legacy by dismantling some of the most oppressive aspects of Stalinism. It paved the way for subsequent leaders, including Mikhail Gorbachev, to continue the process of political and economic reform in the later decades of the Soviet Union. Conclusion. The Soviet thaw was a transformative period that marked the end of Stalinism and initiated a more liberal and open approach in the Soviet Union. While the thaw faced challenges and was not a linear process, it had far-reaching consequences for Soviet society, culture, and international relations. The gradual unraveling of Stalinist policies during this era played a crucial role in shaping the later trajectory of the Soviet Union and influencing the dynamics of the Cold War.